Oh my gosh, you guys, it is June 1st. You know what that means? It is World Milk Day. And that is a big deal for Dairy Discovery. We are so excited you're celebrating with us. Today, we have faced some unprecedented times recently. And so we are doing an unprecedented event. We are doing a 24-hour live stream event where we are doing a telethon. So instead of you calling in with like your old rotary phone and talking to an operator, you're just going to click on shop now. If you can donate to Dairy Discovery, you can even just leave a tip. Like we don't care, $2. We're doing all this stuff and we are coming at you for 24 hours in a row. You guys are in hour 5. We have 19 hours left. That's what that means. So we have so many things lined up for you guys. Go to our website and you can look at the full schedule of events. Typically, why we're doing this is usually every year we bring, over the last 14 years, we brought tens of thousands of kids out to our farm. And typically in the spring, that's our busiest time. We're doing end of year field trips. This year we've had zero. Thousands, not hundreds, 0. And so we had to kind of pivot and change. Like, what are we going to do? How do we still reach people? How do we still serve? Like, our mission is to provide people a personal connection to their food and try to teach about modern agriculture and be transparent. So instead of having hands-on stuff, we decided to do online stuff. So we just decided to do something big and kick it off. And we called in some heavy hitters. We've already interviewed 3 different people from Europe, because it's World Milk Day. Everybody's got to get involved. And now one of my favorite farmer friends from Michigan, Suzanne, is joining us. Finally, get to introduce her. Did you get to sleep?
I
how can you sleep? It's World Milk Day.
Well, I have my yogurt ready to go as soon as this is done, so I'm all prepared.
Okay, I don't know what our yogurt is going to be the featured product, but I'm excited. So every hour we have a featured dairy product. So this hour was homemade ice cream.
Oh, yay. Yeah. I like that I'm part of that hour.
Okay, you have to go watch the video because it was kind of a failure. I couldn't get myself.
Can you show me how to make ice cream? Am I going to learn how to make it on your video?
Don't watch the video. I mean, I tell you what to do, but don't watch what I do. Anyway, it was good. I mean, you're going to mix milk and sugar and yum, and vanilla. So anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Suzanne, you decided to celebrate World Milk Day with me basically in the middle of the night, and on very short notice. So we need to learn about you. You need to tell us. You're very interesting already. So tell us all about you.
Let's see, we'll go all the way back a couple generations. So my grandpa and grandma were both dairy farmers. They were some of the biggest dairy farmers back in the 1970s, Armo-Odessa Farms in Michigan. My grandpa grew up with just a few cows, and then his parents died when he was really young. And so he just had this entrepreneurial farm mentality. He never finished high school, never went to college, but he grew this mega farm. And every cow had a name. He took care of his animals really well, but then he had an accident and wasn't able to farm anymore. And this was way before I was born. So I never got to see the farming aspects, and my mom never really touched on that a whole lot. But my grandparents would tell me stories on occasion. So I never really was around agriculture. I never really had any respect for agriculture as far as like farmers go. I mean, I appreciated farms, but farm boys were just kind of hicks, So it was definitely something that I never in a million years would have pictured myself getting into. And then, so my boyfriend, Eric, and I, we were living in the suburbs, and we were getting tired of like the suburban mentality of like everybody being stuck up and all these regulations. So like, let's just move to the country. And all we could find, I am not joking, was 87 acres of vacant land. There was like nothing available with houses. And we're like, 87 acres, that's insane. So, I mean, at the time we thought that was crazy. We're like, that's so extreme, that's so excessive. So we bought it and decided that we would use the land to return money back to us, because you have to pay property taxes, you have to pay, we have to take care of it. So we decided we would farm it. and it was already growing hay. So we're like, all right, we'll get a couple horses, we'll grow some hay, we'll sell the rest, we'll cover our expenses, no problem. Well, yeah, it was definitely like every year we realized that it's not just going out and cutting some hay. Like farming is like a whole process. It's a business. Um, so every year we try to kind of do a little bit better and grow it a little bit more. And now we're to the point 7 years later that we're like, man, we're landlocked. We'd like to have some more hay ground, but we have no way to do that unless we go out and rent some land. Along the way, I decided to start a YouTube channel to kind of showcase the adventures of a first generation farmer. And it was kind of a trial run for a memoir that I had written to see if it would be profitable. And back then, there weren't very many YouTube channels. There were like 3 or 4. And it was crazy that there was no farming on YouTube at that time. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, you Google farming on YouTube and very few videos would pop up. So I thought, wow, this is going to be a bust idea. Like, no one's going to watch this. And so I was kind of the black sheep of, and in many respects, I still am of the YouTube world, because there's a lot of homesteaders. Homesteaders, I don't think they get enough credit. They're basically smaller family farmers. Their goal is to provide certain products for their family, and that's great too. That's another aspect of farming. But we weren't doing that. We were trying to be profitable and trying to sell, and we just, I don't know, being a female and being a first generation farmer and being a smaller farmer too on that end, I didn't fit anywhere. But
you said entrepreneurial, this is a business. Like, I've already heard you kind of distinguishing yourself from like homesteader. So
yeah. So the channel started growing, and it's gotten to, I think, 55,000 subscribers in 3 years. So
that's insane. Can you tell me, like, what do you think was there one moment or one thing that happened on your channel that kind of like, that was the defining moment, or was it just, all accumulation? Or
it's kind of hard, because I guess there kind of was a defining moment, because originally when I joined YouTube, you only needed 100 subscribers to become monetized. That's where you can make money on your videos. And that, let's see, I think it was only a couple months later, like 4 5 months later, that they switched it from 100 to 1,000. And I actually didn't know they were doing that, and I flew right under. Because I think like that December I hit 1,000 subscribers, and so I made that mark right before they had their cutoff. And then that next month, I think I jumped to like 5,000, and it was just like, holy cow. And then it's like, it seems to go in waves where it'll just jump, and then it'll kind of level off and then jump. But I mean, with YouTube, it's kind of tricky, because with every milestone you like dream of hitting, then it's like, okay, there's always another milestone.
yeah.
So
there wasn't like a video that you feel like really stood out and seemed to resonate with your subscribers? I'm asking you off the script. I know you're mad. I can see it. Okay.
No, I don't think there isn't. Well, I mean, there was one video that I made that didn't really resonate with my subscribers, but the non-YouTube subscribers definitely loved it. Or the non-subscribers. It was a video I did on our farm cat that had a botfly stuck in its nose.
Oh, okay.
And like nobody from my channel watched the video. And I took it to the vet and like, did this whole ordeal of like the vet pulling it out, and nobody on my channel even watched it. But then like 6 months later, it hit and it just exploded. And I had like, I don't know, over 1 million views on it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch it. I don't know if I watched the botfly one. I've watched a bunch of your episodes, but I'm one of those people for you, right?
Yeah.
Didn't watch that, but watched some other things. So we've been talking about just first generation versus like me. there's some controversy within like even me or my family. Am I fourth or fifth generation? We're going to talk about that as we head back to our sugar
Oh,
shack in a little bit.
okay.
So I'm just going to say fifth generation because it sounds like a big wider gap, and I think it should be fifth. So we'll talk about that later. But okay, so between fifth and first generation, what do you think is like an advantage or a disadvantage from
That's
that?
actually, go ahead.
No, I just want to hear what
Oh,
you have to
okay.
say. Like you
No,
versus
I think,
me. Like
yeah,
there's a big
I've
difference.
there is, and I've had like some time to think about that because, like I said, now there's a lot of farming channels on YouTube, and 99.9% of them are like at least third generation or greater. Between third and fifth is the average. So seeing how they do agriculture versus how we do agriculture, um, it's kind of interesting because we're like their great 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 grandparents starting out. You know, we don't have like all of this experience, we don't have the equipment, we have just a little bit of land, and we're doing the best we can with what we have. And so I think one of the advantages, the biggest advantage that I can see of a multi-generational farmer is just the experience. They kind of are brought up a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times they're brought up from childhood to see the different situations unfold and see how their parents, their grandparents handle it and work together. That's the biggest key is as a family farm, you have to be able to work together. So as a first generational farmer, you don't have all the answers and it's very easy to get frustrated. It's easy for tempers to fly. It's very easy to get discouraged. And even our tax ladies, like most first generation farmers fail within 5 years. They just give up because it's a vigorous ordeal. And another advantage that I'm seeing too of the multi-generational farmer is you have a farming community. You've been in the community for so long that you're friends with so many different families and they know, if not you, they know your parents or your grandparents. And they're more than willing to like stop by, help out, and bounce ideas off from you. But when you're a first generation farmer, you're very isolated. And even though people do mean well, it's very, very hard to have somebody there to help you. And most of the time you're stuck doing it yourself. So I think in that aspect, it's definitely a lot harder. But one advantage I will say that I've noticed is that as a first generation farmer, because you're not told how to do stuff, you do have to figure it out. And sometimes you're able to find better ways to do stuff because you're not doing something that's been done and done and done and done and done. You can find new, better ways to do stuff, which
That's the
if
way we've always done it. You don't say that all the time? Okay.
yeah. So yeah, there's just different things that we've kind of figured out, and I've been able to do research with articles online from university studies and college studies and independent study programs on different ideas in farming and what works and maybe what doesn't work. And anytime you bring something up like that to your farming community on YouTube, it's just like, oh no, 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 no. And I'm just like, well, actually, guys, this is what science is saying. So yeah.
That's great. Great insight. It's kind of funny you hearing it from your perspective, and I'm like, well, I feel discouraged, and it's hard over here. Sometimes you have all this generational experience, and then they don't let you make the changes. So they've
Right.
got the experience, but you're kind of stuck. And so it's so funny how some of your greatest strengths, they always line up with your greatest weakness somehow. Isn't that?
Yeah, that's true.
It's how it is in everything. So anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, you kind of mentioned that that when you started this whole farming adventure, you thought you knew, and I bet we have some viewers out there who think they know, and maybe they are, maybe they just don't have that inside or that hands-on experience, knowledge to draw from. So what did you kind of learn as you learn as you go kind of a thing? What was really surprised you? I just wanted you to kind of do some myth busting for me.
Oh, as far as like farming in general,
Yeah. Any
Oh,
misconceptions that you
well,
had,
I
like
think the
going
big
in?
ones, I mean, you've got, yeah, I mean, the big one is that, women can't farm. And, when it, yeah, there's, for women, we're a lot smaller and a lot of times we're a lot weaker, and that's not a bad thing. I think that's the biggest myth buster is, women consider that, oh, we're small and we're weak and we can't be that way. No, you can be that way. You can be that way and still find a way to get stuff done. You just have to be a little bit more creative. And I just rode, or I didn't ride, but I videoed a lady last week who was driving this massive John Deere. She just jumped in to help her son one day. She'd never driven it before. And I'm just like, wow, that's a monster of a tractor. And she just jumped right in to go till up a field in it. But I think some of the other misconceptions are about pesticides, herbicides, GMOs, fertilizer, drain tiling. I mean, those seem to be the biggest heavy hitters, and of course, organic farming. And I'm not going to say that organic farming is bad or that organic farming is good. It's just a different type of farming. The single biggest contributing factor that I've seen is that everyone's so quick to say that, oh, mega farms are bad, and all the chemicals, and they don't realize that if we didn't have those larger farms, and if those larger farms didn't find ways to be more efficient, we wouldn't have most of our food that we have now. Farmers are not out to ruin the land, they're not out to poison people, and they're not out to make a quick buck. Now, granted, there probably are some industries that are commercialized farms, and that might be what they're geared towards. But I haven't met anything like that. I mean, everything on YouTube that I'm seeing is all family farms. And these are people that farm thousands of acres, and they take their wheat, their beans, their corn to the grain mill to be ground up just like most other farmers do. So I think instead of everyone saying, oh, this is bad, I think people need to like sit back and just understand what it is. I just read an article the other day. I was trying to figure out wheat. What makes wheat organic? I thought, okay, because the question was on manure. You've got chemical manure and you've got animal manure. So I was just curious, like, what makes wheat organic? And the person that wrote the article knew absolutely nothing about the topics that they were covering. And
Uh-oh.
I'm just like, okay, this is why there's so much bad information out there, because
Yeah.
people might have a little snippet of an idea, but they don't really take the time to do actual research on it.
So you're saying you're getting information that was not from a farmer. So it's kind of
Yeah,
easier to get
yeah.
your information straight from a farmer, and what better way to do that? So yeah, you agreed to do this middle of the night or very early, I guess very early in the morning, um, segment with me. Why do you think that it's important to celebrate World Milk Day with Dairy Discovery? Why would you do that?
I think the dairy industry gets one of the biggest raps, from cow mistreatments to, oh, milk is bad and there's all this and that in milk. And I think I've seen in Michigan like a lot of farms going under. And then I think you explained to me that the problem was there was too much supply, and not enough processing plants, which is understandable too. But I've just talked to a lot of people and they just said they just couldn't make any money at it. And it was one of those, dairy farming is one of the hardest farming that you can do. I mean, you have to be with the cows 24 hours. I know you've got those nice robotic milkers, so it's a little bit easier, but still, you are one busy lady. I mean, just keeping track of that many animals' health and making sure they're tended to and well fed. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. It's not like pig farming where you're gonna butcher like out most of your crop. I mean, the cows stay with you for as long as you can get them to stay with you so they produce. And yeah, so I think the dairy farming is probably one of those that needs the most information out there as far as what they're doing.
Okay. So we're trying. I mean, we can't, like we said, we can't host people at the farm. So we're trying. I've been telling people you can't come here and smell the dairy air. So we might as well come to you as you're sitting on the couch in your sweats, or maybe you're still in bed, scrolling through Facebook, and you want to find something, entertaining instead of all the heavy stuff that's been going on. So we're just
Oh
trying to
yeah.
provide a little light and a little good. Just share something that can maybe, I don't want to say distract, but maybe just be a positive, or just shed some light in that dark space. So anyway, we are way over our time. Sorry. I hope you didn't have to go take care of the chickens. I don't know. What have you got over there? Chickens? No chickens?
Oh no, we've got chickens. I actually have
okay.
50 more chickens. Yeah, chickens and horses at the moment. So.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You better get to work. I know you have a long day ahead of you, and there's no moment to spare during the month of May and the first week in June. So
Hay season, yes.
yeah, hang in there, girlfriend. Okay. You want to tell people where they can find you? What's your next video coming out?
Sure. You can find me on YouTube under WT Farm Girl. It stands for What the Farm Girl. And I think the next video coming out might just be, it's either going to be on the chickens that we're raising right now, the 50 meat chickens, or I've got another video coming out that's going to be on a first generation crop farmer. And then another.
Like you're interviewing one?
Yeah. He started his own crop farming business as a first generation person, which was shocking, and he's not very old. So I thought that was pretty cool that he was able to jump right in and start farming crops for people. So
okay. A kindred spirit for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. We are going to sign off by just letting everybody know again that we're going to sign off here and then start right back up at the 6 o'clock hour. It's all about coffee. We're going to be interviewing Rachel from Brody's Bee. I'm going to make Dalgona coffee. Did you hear it's like the coffee of the quarantine or something? It's all the rage. It started on TikTok, and then everybody on YouTube and Instagram picked it up. So it's not on Facebook. So I'm trying to, hello, Facebook, get with it. Dalgona coffee. So I don't know. It's a thing. So we're going to make that. And then I need some coffee because
you've been up a long time.
I've been up for 24 hours so far. And we have a full lineup. Just check out our website if you want to get the full listing. And if you learned something from Suzanne, go ahead and subscribe at her page, please. And then if you guys wouldn't mind just leaving us a little tip, hit the Shop Now button on Dairy Discovery Facebook page, because they didn't approve our event in time. So you have to go all the way to our page.
Oh no.
And go to our Facebook page and then push Shop Now, and you can give us a little tip, even a couple dollars. We would love that. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you back here in just a short time. Thank you, Suzanne.
Bye. Thanks,
Happy
Annie.
World Milk Day.
Thank you. Enjoy your coffee.
Okay, I will. Bye.
Bye.